Okay, yeah. Wait. Chat. Give me a sec, chat. Chat, boom. Chat, do you see this? Do you hear this? Chat. Can I get
Hello, Madam First Lady.
Apparently Trump is
Thank you
talking
very much
live, so I think this is
for being
pretty important.
Madam President, Mr. Secretary General, First
This
Lady
is
of
the UN
United
General
States,
Assembly
distinguished delegates,
conference,
ambassadors,
and Trump is
and
going
world
to be
leaders.
talking about it for the first time.
6 years have passed since I last stood in this grand hall
I
and
don't
addressed
care,
a
bro.
world that was
Move.
prosperous and at peace in my first term. Since that day, the guns of war have shattered the peace I forged on 2 continents. An era of calm and stability gave way to one of the great crises of our time. And here in the United States, 4 years of weakness, lawlessness, and radicalism under the last administration.
And yours
delivered
as
our
well.
nation into a repeated set of disasters. 1 year ago, our country was in deep trouble. But today, just 8 months into my administration, we are the hottest country anywhere in the world,
No.
and there is no other country even close. America is blessed with the strongest economy,
No.
the strongest borders,
No.
the strongest military, the strongest friendships, and the strongest
No.
spirit of any nation on the face of the earth.
Not true.
This is indeed the golden age of America.
It's not.
We are rapidly reversing the economic calamity we inherited from the previous administration, including ruinous price increases and record-setting inflation like we've never had before. Under my leadership, energy costs are down, gasoline prices
Trump
are
Talks
down,
Tuesday, chat.
grocery prices are down,
Hi, Careless.
mortgage rates are down, and inflation has been defeated.
It's not true. All of this is not
The only
true.
thing that's up is the stock market, which just hit a record high. In fact, it hit a record high 48 times.
Is he just
in the
gonna?
last short
Okay,
period of
he's
time.
just flaunting
Growth is
America.
surging, manufacturing is booming.
But
The
I was
stock
trying
market,
to. I'm gonna
as I
mute
said,
him. I don't want to hear about
is
these
doing better than it's
lies.
ever done. And all of you in this room benefit by that. Almost everybody. And importantly, workers' wages are rising at the fastest pace in more than 60 years.
That was not
That's what it's
only
all
you
about,
though.
isn't it?
But
In 4 years,
basically, the UN General
President
Assembly
Biden, we had less
is
than $1
where
trillion
like
of new
the
investment
the
into
nations
United
that
States.
united after World War
In
II
just 8
try to
years
make
since I took
international
office,
laws.
we have secured
And
commitments
recently,
and money
every
already
nation,
paid
a part of the
of
UN
$17
Assembly,
trillion. Think of it, 4 years less than a trillion,
has
8
finally tried once again to make a
$17
two-state
trillion.
solution for Palestine and to stop the genocide and have a ceasefire
pouring in
with
from
also the
all
release
parts
of
of
the
the world.
hostages. And the only fucking country that voted against it was the US. And I was looking for that clip of everyone seeing that, right? Of for the sixth time, sixth time, God damn it, the US refused and ruined having a ceasefire in fucking in Palestine. And then as I was searching for that, apparently Trump is gonna talk about it. But right now he's just flaunting America. It's crazy.
Southern border, we have successfully repelled a colossal invasion, and for the last 4 months, and that's 4 months in a row, the number of illegal aliens
Oh, my.
admitted and entering our country has been 0. Hard to believe, because if you look back just a year ago, it was millions and millions of people pouring in from all over the world, from prisons, from mental institutions, drug dealers, all over the world they came. They just poured into our country with the ridiculous open border policy of the Biden administration.
Yeah.
Our message is very simple. If you come illegally into the United States, you're going to jail or you're going back to where you came from, or perhaps even further than that. You know what that means?
Well, what does that
I
mean?
want to thank the country of El Salvador for the successful and professional job they've done in receiving and jailing so many criminals that entered our country. And it was under the previous administration that the number became record-setting, and they're all being taken out. You have no choice. And other countries have no choice because other countries are in the exact same situation with immigration. It's destroying your country, and you have to do something about it.
Wait, is he
On the world
leading?
stage, America is respected again like it has never been respected
No,
before.
it's not true.
You think about
Everyone hates you.
2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, or 1 year ago.
Actually, everyone
We were
started hating
laughingstock all over the world.
America once this
At the
fool
NATO
came in.
summit in June, virtually all NATO members formally committed to increase defense spending at my request from 2% to 5% of GDP, making our alliance far stronger and more powerful than it was ever before.
I think he's just gonna
In
be
May, I
flaunting
traveled to the
America.
Middle East to visit my friends and rebuild our partnerships in the Gulf and those valued relationships with Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE and other
You
countries
let
are now,
Israel bomb
I believe,
Qatar and Saudi
closer
Arabia.
than ever before. My administration has negotiated one historic trade deal after another, including with the United Kingdom, the European Union, Japan, South Korea, Vietnam, Indonesia, the Philippines, Malaysia, and many, many others. Likewise, in a period of just 7 months, I have ended 7 unendable wars. They said they were unendable. You're never going to get them solved. Some are going for 31 years, 2 of them.
What
31,
war?
think of it, 31
Which
years.
ones?
One was 36 years. One was 28 years. I ended 7 wars. And
Well, then end
in
the
all
one in
cases, they
Gaza.
were raging with countless thousands of people being killed. This includes Cambodia and Thailand, Kosovo and Serbia, the Congo and Rwanda, a vicious, violent war that was, Pakistan and India, Israel and Iran, Egypt,
Israel?
and Ethiopia, and Armenia and Azerbaijan.
Israel and Iran, they
including
ended that.
All of them.
That was
No
a shit show.
president or prime minister, and for that matter, no other country has ever done anything close to that. And I did it in just 7 months. It's never happened before. There's never been anything like that. Very honored
Such
to
a
have done it.
liar, Chad. This is
It's too bad that I had to do these things instead of the United Nations doing them. And
what?
sadly, in all cases, the United Nations
No, that's true
did
though.
not even try to help in any of them.
That's also true though.
I ended
That's
7
fair.
wars, dealt with the leaders of
You
each
started
and
7
every one of
wars.
these countries, and never even received a phone call from the United Nations offering to help in finalizing.
He's shitting on the
deal.
UN in front of their
All I got from
faces.
the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle. If the First Lady wasn't in great shape, she would have fallen. But she's in great shape. We're both in good shape. We both stood.
Why are y'all
And
laughing?
then a
And
teleprompter that didn't work.
how is his
These
charisma
are
this
the two
great?
things I got from
They're-
the
He's
United
lying in
Nations,
front
a
of
bad
you.
escalator and a bad teleprompter. Thank you very much. And by the way, it's working now. It just went on. Thank you. I think I should just do it the other way. It's easier. Thank you very much. I didn't think of it at the time because I was too busy working to save millions of lives.
Shut the
That is the saving and stopping of these wars.
Uh-huh.
But later I realized that the United Nations wasn't there for us. They weren't there. I thought of it really after the fact, not during.
Okay.
during these
Then why
negotiations,
do you
which were
keep
not
stopping
easy.
a ceasefire then?
That being the case, what is the purpose of the United Nations? The UN has such tremendous potential. I've always said it.
To stop
It has such
international
tremendous,
war
tremendous
crimes.
potential.
supposedly.
But it's not even coming close to living up to that potential. For the most part, at least for now, all they seem to do is write a really strongly worded letter and then never follow that letter up. It's empty words.
It's true.
And empty words don't
God
solve
damn
war.
it.
The only thing that solves war and wars is action. Now, after ending all of these wars and also earlier negotiating the Abraham Accords, which is a very big thing for which our country received no credit, never receives credit. Everyone says that I should get the Nobel Peace Prize for each one of these achievements.
Who's everybody?
But for me, the real prize will be the sons and daughters who live to grow up with their mothers and fathers, because millions of people are no longer being killed in endless and unglorious wars.
Yeah.
What I care about is
what about Palestine?
It's saving lives. We saved millions and millions of lives.
What about
57
Palestine?
Wars.
What about
And we have
Palestine?
others that we're working on, and you know that. Many years ago, a very successful real estate developer in New York, known as Donald J. Trump, I bid on the renovation and rebuilding of this very United Nations complex. I remember it so well. I said at the time that I would do it for $500 million, rebuilding everything.
He's flaunting that he's invested in
I'm going to
it.
give you marble floors.
This is crazy. The
give you
entitlement. The entitlement is crazy. Oh my
I'm going to
God.
give you the best of everything. You're going to have mahogany walls. They're going to give you plastic. But they decided to go in another direction, which was much more expensive at the time, and which actually produced a far inferior product. And I realized that they did not know what they were doing when it came to construction, and that their building concepts were so wrong. And the
Why
product
is he
that they were
talking about
proposing to
the
build was
building?
so bad and so costly.
Bro, he's
It
yapping.
was going to cost them a fortune. And I said, and wait till you see the overruns.
Oh my God.
Well, I
Shut
turned out to be right.
Shut up, shut up. Okay. It's true. I thought America was real cool before Trump got elected in 2016. Even then, I was wrong, but the point still stands. Bro's talking about potential like he ain't the most politically powerful position and sitting on his hands like it's a championship. Yeah. Like with all the other stuff, like obviously I don't have the sources, but everyone who at least has been watching TamaTalks and was during the whole Iran-Israel thing. Israel bombed Iran on purpose, nuclear plants on purpose, and the US okayed it, which was who? Trump. And they were just, and then, you know, Iran's like, okay, bitch, started throwing bombs back. And now everyone was thinking, okay, this might be the start of World War III because, you know, it's Iran. And, well, Israel is partnered with the US. And I wasn't worried about it. I was pretty happy that finally a country's retaliating against Israel's genocidal bullying. But what the fuck is this guy talking about of him fucking ending that war when he told Israel to stop, they didn't stop. They said, okay, fine. And they just actually, they told both parties to stop and they both ended up like just letting everything out as like a finale before they stopped. And he had no control over it, that he started bitching and whining about it on Twitter. Like, he didn't end that. He didn't. He started it, and it failed miserably, at least with that. Like, he's lying. So, let's see what he's saying now. What the fuck?
Priority, starting with the nation of Iran. My position is very simple. The world's #1 sponsor of terror can never be allowed to possess the most dangerous weapon.
No.
That's why shortly after taking office, I sent the so-called Supreme Leader a letter making a generous offer. I extended a pledge of full cooperation in exchange for a suspension of Iran's nuclear program.
So this
The
is
regime's answer was to continue their
that's
constant
Iran. They're
threats
just
to
like,
their
well, are you
neighbors and
fucking kidding me, bro?
US interests throughout
They're
the
literally
region
like, are you
and some
fucking
great
kidding?
countries
He's
that are
lying. He's lying. He's
nearby.
throwing propaganda. Okay.
Today, many of Iran's former military commanders In fact, I can say almost all of them.
Iran was following rules, very strict rules on how much nuclear power they have.
B-2 bombers dropped the 30,000-pound each bombs on Iran's key nuclear facilities, totally obliterating everything.
Okay, was that
No
cool?
other country on earth could have done what we did. No other country has the equipment to do what we
He's
did.
flaunting
We
it.
have the greatest weapons on earth.
He's flaunting
to
that
use
he
them.
bombed a nuclear
We did
plant
something that
in Iran.
22 years people wanted to do. With Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity demolished, I immediately brokered an end to the 12-day war, as it's called,
No, you called it
between
that.
Israel and Iran, with both sides agreeing to fight
He's flaunting it.
no longer. As everyone knows, I have also been deeply engaged in seeking a ceasefire in Gaza.
No.
Have to get that done. Have to get it done.
Liar.
Unfortunately, Hamas
Why'd you
has
stop it?
repeatedly rejected reasonable offers.
No,
to make
you
peace.
rejected the
We
reasonable
can't forget
offer.
October 7th, can we? Now,
Like
as if to
3 days ago.
encourage continued conflict,
Fuck you.
some
Fuck
of
that
this
guy.
body is
Fucking
seeking
bitch
to
ass.
unilaterally recognize
Fuck
a
that guy,
Palestinian
bro.
state. The rewards would be too great for Hamas terrorists for their atrocities. This would be a reward for these horrible
No.
atrocities.
No.
Including
Propaganda.
October 7th, even while they refuse to release the hostages or accept
You
the
were-
ceasefire.
They have accepted
Instead
the
of
ceasefire
giving to
multiple times.
Hamas
The U.S. and
giving
Israel has rejected
so
all of them.
much, because they've taken so much. They have taken so much. This could have been solved so long ago.
No, you're lying.
But
He's
instead of
lying.
giving in to Hamas's ransom demands, those who
The
want peace
demands
should be
Are for a
united
total
with one
ceasefire.
message. Release the hostages now.
No.
Just release the hostages now.
Who the fuck is clapping? What the fuck are all the Nazis clapping? Who's clapping?
Thank you. As we have got to
Show who's
come
clapping.
together, and we will come together. Got to get it done. We have to stop the war in Gaza immediately. We have to stop it. We have to get it done.
Then
We
why'd
have
you
to
reject the
negotiate.
ceasefire?
Immediately have
2-3 days ago.
peace. We got to get the hostages back. We want all 20 back. We don't
Then
want 2
stop.
and 4. As you know,
Stop
I
giving
got,
weapons to Israel then.
along with Steve Witkoff and
Stop
others that
killing-
helped us, Marco
Tell them to
Rubio.
stop killing people.
We got most of them back. We were involved in all of them. But I always said the last 20 are going to be the hardest, and that's exactly what happened. We have to get them back now. We don't want to get back 2,
losing my
and then
mind
another
right
2,
now.
and then 1, and then 3. Have this process. No, we want them all back, and we want the actually 38 dead bodies back too. Those parents came to me, and they want them back, and they want them back.
Okay, we'll give the bodies
Very
and
quickly and very
the
badly.
hostages
As though they
that
were alive.
Israel
They
has
want-
taken.
they
That
want
is
every
way
bit as
more
much
than
as
the
if their
number
son
that Hamas
or
has
daughter were
taken.
alive. I've also been
Both
working
civilians,
relentlessly
children,
in
doctors,
stopping
nurses,
the
everyone.
killing in Ukraine. I thought that would be, of the 7 wars that I stopped, I thought that would be the easiest because of my relationship with President Putin, which had always been a good one. I thought that was going to be the easiest one. But you know, in war, you never know what's going to happen. There are always lots of surprises, both good and bad. Everyone thought Russia would win this war in 3 days, but it didn't work out that way. It was supposed to be just a quick little skirmish. It's not
Weren't
making
you
Russia
the-
look good. It's making them look bad. No matter what happens from here on out.
Listen, this guy is throwing so much propaganda out. It's just Israel has been not cooperative. I think in last week's TamaTalks, if anyone was even watching, I know not many people watched last week's episode, but I showed you how they were bombing people within 72 hours. They bombed 6 fucking countries. They're still bombing Lebanon now, and I'm sure they were bombing other countries as well. And the main country that was affected worldwide that everyone was surprised about was Qatar, and simply because Hamas was there trying to negotiate, right? As always, always trying to negotiate for a ceasefire. Israel and the U.S. are not interested in a ceasefire. They never have been. They're just interested in killing and bringing fear to the world. And that was really greatly shown last week. Bro is lying. He's a liar. And he's throwing propaganda that a bunch of idiotic people who can't even look at the news, who can't look at the evidence, who can't do their own research, who somehow haven't seen at least a single drop of bloodshed from the innocent people who are losing their lives in Gaza, fall for it all the time. It's just insane. And
all of you are gathered here right now would have to join us in adopting the exact same measures. I mean, you're much closer to this. We have an ocean in between. You're right there. And Europe has to step it up. They can't be doing what they're doing. They're buying oil and gas from Russia while they're fighting Russia. It's embarrassing to them.
Okay,
and it
but
was very embarrassing to them
what about Israel
it,
and Palestine as well?
But they have to immediately cease all energy purchases from Russia. Otherwise, we're all wasting a lot of time. So I'm ready to discuss this. We're going to discuss it today with the European nations.
Just
all
that?
gathered here. I'm sure they're thrilled to hear me speak about it, but that's the way it is. I like to speak my mind and speak the truth.
No, you don't.
As we seek to reduce the threat of dangerous weapons today, I'm also calling on every nation to join us in ending the development of biological weapons once and for all. And biological is terrible, and nuclear is even beyond, and we include nuclear in that. We want to have a cessation of the development of nuclear weapons. We know, and I get to view it all the time. Sir, would you like to see? And I look at weapons.
U.S. President Trump says
so
recognition
powerful.
of Palestinian state is a great reward for Hamas.
just
I'm no
can't ever use
fucking
them.
duh. Well, what do
We
you
never use
mean?
them. The world literally might come to an end.
What?
There would be no United Nations to be talking about. There would be no nothing. Just a few years ago, reckless experiments overseas gave us a devastating global pandemic. Yet despite that worldwide catastrophe, many countries are continuing extremely risky research into bioweapons and man-made pathogens.
What is
This
he
is
talking about?
Unbelievably dangerous. To prevent potential disasters, I'm announcing today that my administration will lead an international effort to enforce biological weapons convention, which is going to be meeting with the top leaders of the world by pioneering an AI verification system that everyone can trust.
Yeah.
Hopefully the UN can
With
play a
nuclear
constructive
weapons?
role, and it will also be one of the early projects under AI. Let's see how good it is, because a lot of people are saying it could be one of the great things ever, but it also can be dangerous, but it can be put to tremendous use and tremendous good, and this would be an example of that. Not only is the UN not solving the problems it should, too often, it's actually creating new problems for us to solve. The best example is the #1 political issue of our time, the crisis of uncontrolled migration. It's uncontrolled. Your countries are being ruined. The United
by me,
Nations is
chat.
funding an
I
assault
ruined-
on Western countries
I ruined
and their
America.
borders. In 2024, the UN budgeted $372 million in cash assistance to support an estimated 624,000 migrants journeying.
Don't they do that for their
into the
whole
United
country
States.
anyways?
Think of that. The
Oh,
UN
wait,
is
what?
supporting people that are illegally coming into the United States, and then we have to get them out. The UN also
You
provided
mean-
food,
you
shelter,
mean
transportation,
refugees?
and debit cards to illegal aliens. Can you believe that? On the way to infiltrate our southern border. Millions of people came through that southern border. Just a year ago, millions and millions of people were pouring in.
Millions and
25 million
millions.
altogether over the 4 years
25
of the incompetent
billion.
Biden administration.
I hate him. I can't hear his idiotic babbles. Hello, my name is Tamashii, and all I gotta say is Tama D's. Yes, that is my catchphrase. Did not ask. Today we're going to do. Sorry, I got distracted by Trump. I thought I was gonna say something important. Perhaps, maybe, fucking finally say that yes, there needs to be a ceasefire and that they're gonna talk to Israel to stop bombing people. and that there's going to be a solution, and that they're going to listen to basically the United Nations. But no, he's just flaunting lies, flaunting things that he did that he didn't really do, and also throwing anti-immigration propaganda and stuff. So we'll see what he says. I'm sure there's going to be key points to that, but it seems like he will continue to refuse to actually have a ceasefire and then blame it on Hamas for some reason. But here's let's talk about what happened last week, or 2 weeks ago, right? The flotilla, the second flotilla that was bombed by Israel, and thank God no one was hurt by that. We got confirmation that yes, it was Israel, to the non-believers who were over there on the internet and all over the world, especially Israel, saying that it was, fake, that it was fireworks, that yada yada, whatever dumbass lies they were throwing out there. One of their representatives, at least America's representatives, admitted that yeah, it was Israel. Like, Lamau, it was. So if we look at this, drop site announces that breaking news: Trump envoy Tom Barrack admits Israel bombed global summit flotilla ships in Tunisia earlier this month. Okay. In an interview with the national news, Hadley Gamble, Barrack's special envoy for the region dealing with Syria and the leading figure in the administration Hezbollah's disarmament push, said Hezbollah has zero incentive to disarm when Israel is attacking everybody. He then went to the list several countries that the apartheid state has attacked in recent months, including Tunisia, where multiple flotilla ships were struck by drones. And this is 25 seconds long, so I guess we can watch this, but basically he's like, Lamau, yeah, that did happen, Lamau. Let's see what bro says here.
And what incentive do they have to put their weapons down?
Zero. Zero. I mean, this is the problem, especially when Israel is attacking everybody. So if Israel is attacking Syria, Israel is attacking Lebanon, Israel is attacking Tunisia. As it goes on,
okay, so that's a Trump representative, Tom Barrack, and he's basically like, Lamau, yeah, they're not gonna stop because they also attacked Tunisia. That was one of the countries he given an example of. And well, what happened in Tunisia? That's where the fucking freedom flotillas were. So that is our absolute confirmation now that it was Israel that, attacked those boats. They need to bring this guy out to all of America's communications, literally incapable of keeping his mouth shut, cannot stop revealing Israeli intentions and crimes. I think they honestly think it's a flex, just like how Trump was fucking talking just now. He was like, oh yeah, we managed to stop the Israeli war. Like, after you told Israel it was okay to bomb them for no reason. And their excuse is on that, his excuse was that we cannot allow Iran to have nuclear weapons. And that's why we okayed the bombing. But Iran was following very strict regulations from America and around the world on how much they can use nuclear power, and also monitor if they were to use the nuclear power in an absolute negative way. It was until Trump came in and was like, okay, let's give you less nuclear power rights. And it was basically nothing. And so Iran's like, no, we've been following the rules for many years, and this has actually brought peace and economic, has helped us economically, because nuclear power is not only used for nuclear war, it's used to, create power plants to bring energy to help agriculture in the area. And then all of a sudden, like, the US wants to take that all away because they want to be the only superpower. Them and in Israel want to be the only superpower in the region that can just bomb whoever they want to bomb without having others retaliate. And when Iran said no, that's when Israel's like, okay, let's bomb them. And then let's pretend that they're the terrorists because they refused to give up absolute nuclear energy. And because of that, they are monsters. Like, hello? That is just propaganda and racist and lies. How this guy appeals to anyone confuses me deeply. I mean, I hate him, but you gotta admit, like, he knows how to talk to a crowd. Okay? He knows how to talk to a fucking crowd. And he knows how to get things done in the absolute most evilest way as possible. Okay? Which makes him even more charismatic because, like, if he says he's gonna, continue war, he's gonna continue war. If he says he's gonna try to ruin people's lives that he considers evil, such as immigrants or just anyone who's Hispanic or Latino, he's gonna do it. And people see truth in that and it appeals to them. Obviously, it sucks. And, well, when it comes to the American liberal government, they ain't doing shit. Okay? They say they want to do shit. They do little things here and there that is basic necessities to help the basic civilian out there who is upper middle class, right? But when it comes all in all, like, lower middle class and under have been suffering for a very long time, and that frustrates people, and that includes the conservatives at some point. It's not only the liberals or the leftists or the right-wingers that are suffering economically, it's everyone. And when you have a racist fuck actually getting things done that aligns with your racist values, even though it doesn't benefit you, you're naturally gonna go and follow that guy. It's basic brainwashing. It's like a cultist kind of thing, which is why you see these people mix religion, Christianity, evangelicalism with politics as well, and you just have this whole cultist of right-wing people in love with this guy, and a bunch of liberals like blaming everything on the guy instead of focusing on their own leaders that they supposedly trust and actually bringing change, not only for the leftists, but for all of the, for all of those suffering in the country. If someone was willing to help everyone in the country, I'm sure everyone's going to follow those people immediately. And that is what's very frustrating about all of this. It sucks. Like, what are we supposed to do at this point? It seems like our population is just, the American population is deeply brainwashed from both sides. But now that we have that confirmation, I just want to show people once again the evidence, right? The evidence from last week. This is the second boat that they bombed. Not last week, like 2 weeks ago, right? Okay, this is what was dropped. We don't know what the fuck it is, but something that ignites. And once again, I'm showing this. Almost killed that guy right there. Okay. Now we have confirmation from Trump's representatives that this was Israel. So, again, if anyone denies it, if Israel denies it, if a right-winger crazy person, I don't care who denies it, even leftists, because they're crazy. if they deny it, this is the evidence of the second boat attack. And also, we have Trump's representative admitting that Israel attacked Tunisia. And this is what happened in Tunisia. And whoever watches this is witness to that, okay? Now, here's the issue, right? As of yesterday, Israel has threatened military force against Gaza flotillas. Okay, now they're threatening Israel, the country itself. Okay, is threatening these boats. Okay, so this is again even more evidence that obviously they were the ones who attacked those boats from the very beginning, because now they are threatening these people who are trying to bring aid, such as food, water, and medical supplies to Palestine. So let's read what they say. Israel's foreign ministry, in a statement on X, falsely claimed that Global Summit Flotillas is organized by Hamas. Okay, so now again, it's always Hamas, right? You guys remember, it's Hamas. Everything, whenever they bomb something or whenever they kill someone, whenever they threaten someone, it's because of Hamas. So apparently, they're falsely claiming that the boats are organized by Hamas, and intended to serve Hamas, okay? About to stop it from reaching Gaza. Okay, well, what does that mean? The statement threatened boats will not be allowed to reach Gaza. What Israeli FM described as an active combat zone. Okay. Israel absurdly warned participants not to break the law, threatening military force against the unarmed flotilla, while it unlawfully imposes a naval blockade. Activists were told to dock in Ashkelon and hand over the aid for Israeli-controlled delivery. Yeah. Israel's naval blockade has sealed Gaza's coast since 2007. Past flotillas have been intercepted, including the 2010 Mavi Marmara raid, when Israeli commandos killed 10 activists. And I think we should look at that, actually. At some point, we'll see what happened to that specific flotilla. Because people forget that Israel is known for killing people, right? It's always done that. Like, imagine that, 10 fucking activists in 2010, no one cared. Now they're saying, hey, we're gonna do it again by saying lies that you're Hamas. So give us the aid. It's dangerous. Don't go there. It's a combat zone. Be careful not to break the law. Give us the aid and leave. As if they didn't just kill, they've killed 10 activists before trying to do the same thing. Okay. So this is why we gotta keep an eye on the flotillas. But this is literally, as I sat on my chair, getting ready for all of this. And also, I deeply apologize for starting late. I was not feeling well. It took me a bit to get out of bed. But I figured I should at least do an hour of updates. And, you know, this popped out. This is actually a response from the flotillas themselves, saying the global summit flotilla responds to Israel's demand that aid ships and dock and transfer through Ashkelon, and adds that Israel's rhetorical escalation is part of its strategy to delegitimize and obstruct efforts to get aid to Gaza. So let's read this whole thing. Oh my god. How come when I zoom in, it zooms out? That's crazy. Let me just read it from here, I guess. Press statement: Israel's demand to dock and transfer aid is part of its ongoing blockade of Gaza. This is as of September 23rd, 2025. The Israeli Foreign Ministry recent call for flotillas vessels to dock and transfer humanitarian aid through Ashkelon port in Israel cannot be understood as a neutral logistical request. It is a part of a long-standing pattern. Israel's deliberate obstruction of aid to Gaza and its attempts to delegitimize those who challenge its unlawful blockade. Since May 2025, after lifting its total blockade, Israel has only permitted an average of 70 trucks per day into Gaza. UN agencies estimate that between 500 and 600 trucks are required daily to meet basic needs. So they're just giving less than Jesus. Just nothing. They're giving nothing to these people. It takes about 600 trucks to feed the population for basic needs, and they're sending only 70 trucks, okay, per day into Gaza. So this just gives further proof that, like, okay, so if we give them the aid, are they even gonna send it to Gaza? No, they're probably gonna destroy it or use it themselves. Israel's record of intercepting vessels, blocking convoys, and restricting routes shows that its intent is not to facilitate relief, but to control, delay, and deny it. Okay? Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch have both condemned these practices as violations of international law and dangerous obstructions of impartial humanitarian assistance. Israel's rhetoric against the global Sumer flotilla sets the stage for further escalation. Painting a peaceful humanitarian mission as a breach of the law is a pretext for violence against civilians acting lawfully to deliver aid. Okay, there's nothing illegal about a group of civilians and activists trying to give food, water, and medicine to dying, starving people, okay? Amnesty has already warned that such threats flout international law and puts lives at risk. We are clear. The international community must not treat these demands as benign operational instructions. They are the continuation of a blockade that, independent of UN investigators, have called a form of collective punishment and part of the ongoing genocide in Gaza. We call on governments, UN agencies, and humanitarian organizations to 1. Ensure safe passage and protection for aid workers, medical facilities, and civilians. 2. Uphold international humanitarian law by rejecting Israel's unlawful siege and supporting efforts that directly deliver aid to Gaza's population. And 3. Act decisively to end the ongoing genocide. Anything less risks entrenching a system of forced starvation, deprivation, and collective punishment that is costing thousands of Palestinian lives. So if you would like to keep in touch with the flotillas and see the updates, they're at, and Instagram is at Global Sumer Flotilla, Twitter is at GB Sumer Flotilla, Telegram is Global Sumer Flotilla as well. And here's the media contact as well if you guys are interested. Oh, and this is them writing what I just wrote, okay, or what I just read. So this is kind of pretty fucking insane. Hello, Nick. How are you? Thank you for coming back. Please read my pin. Today is TamaTalks Tuesdays, where I talk about politics, basically, give my own opinion, while also doing my best to show evidence while doing so. And it focuses on it focuses on human rights and stuff like that. So just be respectful and be open-minded. But thank you so much for coming back. This is one of my only streams where I'm actually absolutely serious. So I ask my viewers to be serious as well and be respectful. Already read it. I'm just listening. Thank you. That means a lot. That means a lot. Again, guys, I repeat myself when it comes to this a lot because I either have some crazy racist person in either of my chats saying crazy racist stuff, and I don't have, like, you know, I don't have mods to moderate other than myself, and or I have people like not taking what I say seriously and diminishing what I'm saying. So I really appreciate people who respect me. And again, welcome in, Nick. But Jesus Christ, isn't this insane? Isn't it really insane that they're threatening boats that have aid on them? And then they go, it's Hamas. It's not Hamas. It's not. These are civilians from around the world, chat. Around the world. Okay? What's this? Okay, I was gonna go with Qatar. So this is where I left off last week. Okay, Israel bombed Qatar. And like I mentioned earlier, the reason why they bombed Qatar and 6 other countries within 72 hours of the week of bombing in Qatar, the reason why they bombed Qatar is because Hamas was actually there trying to negotiate the ceasefire. Qatar was the mediator, and they were negotiating the ceasefire for the US and Israel to you know, agree to or not, right? But first there has to be negotiations. Israel, as always, decided that they're just gonna bomb Qatar because Hamas is there, so therefore they must bomb it. Like, come on, we just saw Trump say that Hamas is unwilling to make a ceasefire and release the hostages, when every time they try to negotiate a ceasefire, these motherfuckers bomb any country or anyone involved with Hamas, even though they're trying to negotiate a fucking ceasefire. So last week, after they bombed Qatar, it's like, okay, so this is what happened. After they bombed the boats in Tunisia, they bombed Lebanon, they bombed Syria, they bombed fucking Iran. Okay, let me count with my fingers because it was 6 countries. Let's do this again. They bombed Lebanon. They bombed Lebanon again within this week, by the way. They bombed Syria. They bombed... Oh, they're bombing Palestine. They bombed... fucking... Well, who else, chat? Tunisia, because that's where the boats were. The aid boats were in Tunisia, and they bombed the boats. They bombed Qatar, and then they bombed... What's the last country? What's the last country that they bombed? Because there's one more country I forgot to mention. And I deeply apologize. But can you see that within 72 hours they bombed 6 fucking countries? And Trump is out here to this day right now live. He's saying this live right now at the UN Council. He is saying that Hamas is the reason why the war is still going on, because they are unwilling to cooperate when Israel is bombing 6 countries within 72 hours. So Qatar, after they bombed Qatar, Qatar is like, it's time to unite, okay? And basically, they invited all of the Muslim leaders in the area to have a meeting and make a UN-like council, but just made up of Muslim leaders. So why did I mute myself? I want you guys to react to that. I'm gonna be reading this video because I'm pretty sure that it just has captions. For those who are just listening, we're gonna react to an Al Jazeera or AJ Plus news report from last week. So I'm going to read this as fast as I can. It says, Qatar. Local is the PowerPoint thing. Okay, here we are. Qatar organized this show of Arab and Islamic unity in Doha, gathering dozens of leaders a week after Israel attacked Qatar. That is... Oh, I have to drink my pills. My bad. Sorry. That was really loud. That scared me. Let me drink my pills real quick. I don't have water though. But here, let me continue reading. He's saying that Israeli Prime Minister, this is Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad. I hope I read that right. Oh, Tani. I hope I read that right. I'm so sorry. Who boast of having changed the face of the Middle East over the past 2 years, actually means that Israel can enter any place it wishes, whenever it wishes. He dreams of turning the Arab region into an Israeli sphere of influence. That this is dangerous. The extreme right-wing government in Israel cannot be a partner in security and stability in our region. The choice is clear. We must unite. We must intensify our diplomatic efforts to increase sanctions against Israel. We stand by you, Qatar, with all of our capabilities and support any step to face this aggression. Let me confirm clearly here that this aggression clearly reflects that Israeli practices have exceeded any political or military logic and crossed all red lines. Circumstances demand that we move from merely verbally condemning to taking action. This is what they did in Qatar. The leaders said they expressed absolute solid something. They condemned Israel's attack on Hamas negotiations and ongoing attacks on Palestinians in Gaza and occupied West Bank. One of the strongest statements was from the Gulf Cooperation Council.
Expect our strategic partners in the United States
and he's speaking
to
English.
use their influence on Israel in order for it to stop this behavior.
Yep.
We really do expect that.
We should expect that. The dozens of leaders agreed to coordinate. He's so fast. It's so fast, chat. I'm so sorry. No. I can't fast forward with this. Or can I? It's hard, chat. I can't fast forward. But while it plays, I'm going to... Basically, you guys get the idea. Okay, after they bombed Qatar, I'm going to be talking as I go get my water. Basically, after they bombed Qatar, everyone in the region was like, we have to unite. We can't just be talking out of our asses and expect Israel to actually change, you know? Because whoever they assume is against them is automatically someone they start fucking bombing. And again, Hamas was in Qatar legally because Qatar was a mediator in helping negotiating the ceasefire. And who cooperated? Not Israel. You don't cooperate by fucking throwing 3 fucking bombs, okay? At a government place. Surrounded by fucking civilians as well. They ended up killing 6 people in total, including 1 person in Qatar. So leaders have absolute solidarity with Qatar. They condemn Israel's attack on Hamas negotiators and ongoing attacks on Palestinians in Gaza and occupied West Bank.
Actually, one sentence. We also expect our strategic partners in the United States to use their influence on Israel in order for it to stop this behavior. We really do expect that.
The dozens of leaders agreed to coordinate their efforts to suspend Israel's membership at the United Nations. Exactly. And actively oppose crimes against Palestinians. That includes by enforcing arrest warrants for Israeli leaders like Netanyahu.
It does matter their standing in the world. I don't think they're happy to be seen as the pariah state at the moment. I don't think they're happy to see European countries one after the other imposing sanctions against them. They're not happy not having the freedom to travel around the world because their economic survival depends on this. So these 57 countries that occupy, 1/4 of the world population can do something.
And it's true. Yet Israel was at the UN just now. You guys saw them. The representative of Israel was at the UN just now when I started the stream. And he was agreeing with every fucking lie that Trump was talking about. And then Trump started yapping about other shit and basically said he's not gonna do shit in trying to solve the issue of Israel being a genocidal maniac in Palestine. It's concerning. It really is. And so this was again last week, and I just love this picture of this guy going, oh, this fucking genocidal freak going, oh fuck. That's a good picture. Arab nations have decided to create a NATO-style Arab military force. Middle Eastern countries are getting united to fight against Israel. And I think that's good. This is a good thing. This is good news. Finally, there are nations. Okay, they're finally uniting and pushing back in a meaningful way. More than just saying, oh, by the way, what Israel is doing is bad, Lamau. More than that, okay? Everyone knows that what they're doing is bad. Do something about it. Stop them. They're not stopping. Instead of giving them weapons, giving them fuel to fuel these weapons, giving them, just ignoring what they're doing, not opening the borders, not helping the people in Gaza, defending them. You gotta do more than that. And finally, we're seeing some traction, especially from the Middle Eastern countries. Finally. So this started a snowball effect right after the bombing of Qatar, right after Qatar made a NATO-style, a Middle Eastern squad, basically, of, okay, we're going to all unite to defend ourselves. It seems like Spain has been on it for quite a while. Pretty early on, Spain has been condemning what Israel has been doing way before any other Western country. But now they're actually doing something about it. And it kind of snowballed into this effect where a bunch of Western countries, okay, not the US, unfortunately, the country with like the most #1 influence on this world, but Western countries are finally getting it. They're actually doing sanctions. They're doing something about it. And so this is what the Spanish Prime Minister decided to do. Let's read this. It says, Pedro Sanchez announces 9 immediate actions against the genocide in Gaza. So #1, urgent approval of a royal decree law that legally consolidates the arms embargo on Israel that we have been implementing since October 2023 and establishes a legal and permanent ban on the purchase and sale of weapons, ammunition, and military equipment to that country. We need all countries to do this. We need them we need Israel to not have weapons. You know why? Because they're using those weapons to kill children. Okay, I've seen it with my goddamn eyes. And the reason why I talk about it here is because I know people don't want to see that. And I'm like the censor. I censor everything that I see so that you guys can know what's going on. But it's ugly stuff, chat. It's traumatizing things. It's part of the reason why I'm kind of, not okay in the brain. Because what I've seen is just gore. It's evil. It's a Holocaust, but it's actually even worse than what ever happened in the Holocaust. I'm so sorry, but it's the goddamn truth. It's a goddamn truth. They're insane. They're insane at what they're doing, and they don't deserve these weapons. And whatever country is selling them these weapons needs to stop selling these weapons to them so they can stop killing civilians in Gaza. So number 2, prohibition of transit through Spanish ports for all ships carrying fuel destined for Israeli armed forces. Good. Fuel is very important. Why? Well, fuel is something that every society needs, right? Every country needs fuel. You need fuel for your car. You need fuel for your house. You need fuel for the tanks that are bombing, civilians and buildings in Gaza, right? So prohibiting the fuel going to Israel is a good thing. Okay, we gotta push this country to just fucking stop it. That's the goal here. I don't know what the fuck I just dropped, but I dropped something. Number 3, okay, denial of entry into Spanish airspace to all state aircraft transporting defense material destined for Israel. Oh my god, they're even going for planes, okay? Boats and planes carrying defense material, weapons to Israel. Good, very good. 4, prohibition of entry into Spanish territory for all persons directly involved in genocide, human rights violations, and war crimes in the Gaza Strip. And I've always said this in every TamaTalks. Not every TamaTalks, but I know I've mentioned it before, but every person in Israel has to participate in the military. Okay? Every person has to be a part of the Israeli military. Every person at some point has to participate in the genocide of Palestinians. If they refuse to do so, you know what they do to those people who refuse to go and kill a bunch of Palestinian people? Or at least help in killing them? They go to jail. They go to jail. And let me tell you, not many people are willing to go to jail in order to keep their humanity. I've seen a lot of kids at the age of 18. Kids who immediately after they turn 18 in Israel, kids with good hearts in Israel, go to jail. They're willing to go to jail because they refuse to participate in the Israeli military fucking war crimes. Okay? And there's not many people who do that. And the people who aren't willing to go to jail are going to participate in that. So number 4 basically says that almost every citizen that travels out of Israel will not be able to enter Spanish territory. That's basically what that says, because almost all of the citizens in that fucking country has participated in human rights violations, including war crimes. Okay? That's a fact. Look it up. Number 5, ban on the import of products from illegal settlements in Gaza and the West Bank, with the aim of combating these occupations, halting the forced displacement of Palestinian civilians, and keeping the two-state solution alive. So products from illegal settlements. Chat, this is called boycotting. People think it's unreasonable, at least they used to, especially in the VTubing community, because there's a lot of VTuber fans in Israel, by the way. And a lot of them, at some point, after October 7th, were just throwing propaganda after propaganda, lies after lies, convincing people that they were the victims and the Palestinians were all Hamas, right? And people would be like, you can't just blame a civilian in Israel for the crimes that Israel is doing. And TBH, I'm like, well, if they were part of the military, hell yeah, I can. And honestly, this is how it works. You need to boycott, chat. It's really important. You need to not give money to corporations that help Israeli colonization. Okay? Products from illegal settlements. I don't know if that's gonna include McDonald's. Okay? I don't know if that's going to include lemons. Okay, at least in Japan, we have a huge import of lemons from Israel. I have to be careful of what drink I buy. Okay. I have to read my ingredients here and make sure, and Japan isn't pretty transparent. I think they stopped admitting to what country they're getting their lemons from. But at least in Japan here, they get the lemons from Israel. Stuff like that. Olives, olive oil. Actually, one of the shampoos here, let me go get it. Let me go get my shampoo that I used to use. Bro, okay, I think I got rid of it, or it's somewhere here, because I mean, obviously I don't use it. It still had conditioner in it though, but it's called Moroccan oil. That brand is really good for curly hair, and it was like the best brand for my specific curly hair. And I found out that their oil is from illegal settlements. Basically what this means is that, you know, they colonize an area in Palestine or anywhere else in the world, honestly, and they take their product and they make business there illegally, and then they sell it. They sell it. A better example that affects everyone who travels is Airbnb. Okay? Airbnb is on the boycott list. Booking.com as well is on the boycott list, and it's pretty difficult to find places to book if I want to travel somewhere, and boycott those sites. But honestly, if you think about it, what they end up doing is that they colonize an area of Palestine, and then they create houses there, they make business, and then they put it on a listing on Airbnb and Booking.com, and you don't even know it. You know? Stuff like that. So, Spain here is banning the import of products from illegal settlements in Gaza. Basically, places in Gaza that have been colonized and that Israel has been illegally making business on. That's what that means, okay? And it's basically boycotting. 6, with the same objective, limiting consular services provided to Spanish citizens. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. With the same objective, limiting consular services provided to Spanish citizens residing in illegal Israeli settlements to the minimum legally required assistance. So they're saying if you're our citizen and you're living in these like colonized sections of Palestine, we're not gonna help you, honey. We're not gonna help you much. Okay, whatever happens to you happens. We're gonna help you to the minimum legally required assistance. That's fucking crazy. So they're even gonna punish their own citizens for participating in genocide, because that's colonization shit. 7, strengthening our support for the Palestinian Authority by increasing our number of personnel at the European Union Border Assistance Mission in Rafah, and establishing new collaborative projects with the Palestinian Authority in the areas of agriculture, food security, and medical assistance. 8, expanding our contribution to UNRWA with an additional 10 million euros to assist the Gazan population. 9, increase in humanitarian aid and cooperation for Gaza to reach 150 million by 2026. Some notable quotes: this isn't self-defense, it's not even attacking, it's exterminating a defenseless people. It's breaking all the laws of humanitarian law. Okay? The Spanish government believes that protecting your country is one thing, and bombing hospitals and starving innocent children is quite another. Okay? Which is good. It's fucking good that they're doing that. And basically, Spain doing this is a blueprint for all Western countries with power to follow. Okay, they have to follow this. If any other country isn't doing this, that is assisting Israel, we're having a problem here. They're supporting genocide. And if you're willing, boycott. Okay, go to the BDS.com. Learn the basics of what to boycott. If you want to do more, protest. If you want to do more, demand your governments to do this, okay? Tell them. By recommending finding a group of people who care, okay? Because when it's a group of people, they'll know what to do. They'll support you. You know, I found people here in Japan. There's gonna be a vigil pretty soon, within the coming weeks, that I want to go to. A vigil for all the children who have been killed in Palestine by Israel. And I actually want to record it and stuff and let you guys see that the whole world cares. And if your government doesn't care, like, you should, okay? Japan has actually announced that they won't recognize Palestine as a state for now. And I'm like, okay, bitch. It's because America told them not to. And a bunch of Japanese people are not happy about that. Why? Because Japan is known for the land of peace, okay? Especially when it comes to nuclear war. And you can look this up, but again, I've said this before, and I'm sure I've showed evidence of it before, but Israel dropped so many bombs on Palestine that it has overshadowed the damage and intensity of both the nuclear bombs in Japan. Okay? Both in Nagasaki and Hiroshima. So at that point, and I think Netanyahu even said, I want to make it worse than Hiroshima. Like, I want to beat the record on that. Isn't that offensive, Japan? They have to do something about it. And they haven't. It's their citizens, okay? I've met the people who have been organizing here in Japan. And they're doing their best to get their leaders to do something. Okay? But when you have America basically colonizing Okinawa and saying, hey, Lamau, listen to us. It's insane. Da boys, hello. Welcome. Please read the pin. Welcome to TamaTalks Tuesdays, where I give my political opinion on things. And it focuses on human rights, okay? And I will always be talking about Palestine. And right now we're talking about how the bombing in Qatar has sparked the fire, I guess. It did this snowball effect in Western countries where they're finally doing something meaningful to stop Israel from committing more crimes in Palestine. And I think Spain cancels major arms deal with Israel, which is very good. This is from the 16th. So, yeah, like a week ago, a couple days ago. I can't do math, guys. Come on. My bad. But look at this. Spain cancels major arms deal with Israel. Spain has officially canceled nearly 700 million euros or $825 million contract with Elbit Systems for 12 Selam rocket launchers based on Israeli Pulse Tech. Signed on October 2023. The move, confirmed September 15th, follows Madrid's earlier suspension of a 287 million euros deal for Spike LR2 anti-tank missiles from Rafael. Officials say Spain is conducting a broader review to phase out Israeli weapons and tech from its armed forces, citing humanitarian concerns and Israel's war on Gaza. Madrid recently unveiled 9 measures against Israel, including a total arms embargo, port and airspace bans, which is what we just read, chat, settlement import restrictions, and 10 million in new aid for Gaza, which is good. This is so good, chat. This is great. The boys, Nick went south, Zaya, whoever else is lurking in here. This is good news. This is a blueprint of what our countries should be doing to stop Israel. So, look at this. This is something I did not expect. Because this issue in Palestine started because of Britain. Like everything that they've ever done, Britain has ruined the lives of many countries, people in many countries, including Palestine. Okay. They started this. They told a group of people from all over the world, okay, of Jewish descent, to just go to Palestine. They gave them weapons and said, yeah, colonize this area, it's yours, Lamau. And then that's how Israel was born. That was the TLDR of that. If you guys want to learn more, I'm doing my best to give you guys info, but I think you guys should do your best to learn about it more yourselves as well. At some point, I will do like a little history thing to show you guys how this all started. But breaking news! Breaking news, okay? Britain will bar all Israelis, civilians and military from enrolling at the prestigious Royal College of Defense Studies starting next year. The first such ban in the school's near 100-year history. The UK Ministry of Defense said the step follows Israel's escalating war on Gaza and reflects London's commitment to international humanitarian law. Okay, they haven't done shit, by the way, until now. This is like one of the first actually major things they have done. But banning Israeli kids from going to college, you know, being able to travel and go to their like dream Harry Potter shit thing, like dreams of I know a bunch of people around the world who actually want to go to Britain is because they like Harry Potter, okay? At least here in Japan, that's the only reason why. But that's a good thing, okay? That's a form of boycotting. You have to punish these people who participate in genocide to not have everything that they want, including school. The decision signals mounting Western unease with Israel's campaign, which has killed tens of thousands and starved Gaza's population. Telegraph reports 110 participants from the UK and overseas enroll each year. Notable alumni include Field Marshal Alan Francis Brooke, Britain's top World War II commander, and former Pakistani President Pervez Musharraf. A former Israeli official who attended the school called the ban discriminatory and betrayer of an ally at war. But literally, you guys are killing. You guys have destroyed almost everything in Gaza. Okay, they can't even say, oh, discriminatory, oh, when they've bombed all the schools, okay, in Palestine. They can't say shit. They can't. They cannot. The thing is, didn't they go to fucking Lebanon? Oh no, or was it Syria last week? Where they detonated the only school for special needs students in Syria? They like at night, they went in there, they planted bombs all over the school, and then they bombed it. Next day, school's gone. And then we had like a white reporter there saying, this is what happened. I'm showing you this now, and we have to leave quickly because the Israeli fucking, what are those flying objects called again? The fucking, Nandake, what are those flying things called, chat? I'm having a brain fart because I'm exhausted and in pain right now. Drones, thank you. She had a drone on her, bro. And these guys are getting mad that they can't go to school in Britain. Like, come on, bro. Yeah, true. Hope people at Palestine good. It's sad to see, really. I mean, honestly, they're not good. They're not good at all, bro. Every day I get updates. I follow Al Jazeera, right? I actually subscribe to them. And on my iPad, I said, you know, how you can press the little checkbox and be like, yeah, give me updates, whatever. I said, you know what? I want to keep updates with Al Jazeera and you know, make sure what's going on in Palestine. Every day, chat. Every day, it gives me an update on how many people are killed in Palestine. And it's up to fucking 20 to 30 people a day are getting killed in Palestine. Every day, chat. I wake up to that. They're not good. And that's why we as civilians, we as normal people, have to unite and talk about it and learn about it. And if you can't, and if you want to do more, the bare minimum, at least boycott. Not give your money to these corporations, you know, fucking participating in this shit. And these military people, like, flaunt. They take selfies with the people they kidnap. Most of these people are civilians, okay? They're civilians. They just go up to someone, kidnap them, kill them, or abuse them, and say they're Hamas, and they're just fucking civilians, bro. And this fucking crazy bitch is taking a selfie like it's some fun and games. What is that? That's not good. That's evil. But here, more good news, chat. The European Commission will immediately suspend 32 million euros in bilateral funds to Israel. A Commission official told AP, part of Ursula von der Leyen's plan to pressure Israel, the violent settlers, and the far-right officials. Amnesty Agnes Calamard said Europe's leaders can no longer ignore millions of protesters or Israel's genocide and repeated violations of international law. She called von der Leyen's actions shamefully late. It is. 2 years later, they're barely doing this shit, chat. 2 years of genocide and they're barely doing this. I've been asking, people like me have been asking our governments to do something for 2 fucking years. And within those 2 years, I've seen people, I've connected with people, and then I've seen their dead bodies, chat. Then I find out they're dead, and then I see them be fucking turned into gore. It's not, you know, it's shamefully late. You know, finally they're doing stuff about it, right? They're finally doing something about it. But at the same time, it is kind of, it angers me. And a lot of people are angry as well because, like, it took them this long. And my country, America, the villain, the main villain here, America, is still continuing these lies to continue I wonder why. I wonder why that wasn't deleted automatically. It looks like the bots, the fake bots in chats have done something else. Here, I'm gonna delete that. Or actually, I'm gonna ban this. Ban. Okay, sorry. I got a notification of a bot trying to scam people. There is still no recognition of genocide, no naming Israel as a perpetrator. Amnesty urged member states, especially Germany and Italy, not to block the measures. So, you know, Europe is actually doing stuff. And so the UN passes a resolution endorsing a two-state solution, basically. It also calls for Hamas to end its rule in Gaza. Israel and the US were among the 10 members who voted against it. Basically, Israel will have its own country and Palestine will have its own country. That's the two-state solution. Many people are calling for a one-state solution where Israel is people in Israel and people in Palestine can coexist together in peace. But obviously the Israelis don't want that. And so right now everyone's calling for a two-state solution. And the UN Assembly has endorsed that. But unfortunately it was rejected. So I must go, getting sleepy. Thank you for being here, Nick. Thank you for listening as much as you could, and have a good sleep. I'll see you later. I follow it too, but I follow a website called Palestine Update. It's more clear there, and they're a pic too. It's really sad. No, yeah, I follow it everywhere, but it's hard to keep up sometimes with the news because there's always something new happening every day. But yeah, the UN passes here, let me turn this down. Boop.
Bulgaria has supported the resolution we have just adopted. Draft resolution A/80/L1/revision 1 is adopted.
Okay, basically they agreed to this resolution. I didn't see the bot. Yeah, it was monitored.
To have a two-state solution, to live side by side in peace and security, and to open the doors for integration in the entire Middle East, and for allowing the Middle East to reach its potential in terms of development, innovation, science, and cooperation. Come and join us. All these details and many more details are contained in the declaration that we've endorsed today.
Bulgaria has supported the
And also the Italian Prime Minister says that she will arrest Netanyahu if he enters the country. The UN has already a resolution basically saying that they made this whole resolution saying that they want a two-state solution with release of hostages. A bunch of people agreed to it. It passed. We even have this conductor, like this famous Scottish, BBC Scottish symphony, Ilan Volkov, urged the last night to stop Israel before, making his music. I thought this was pretty symbolic as well. And again, this was happening within the week of the Qatar news, like bombing 2 weeks within the week or 2 weeks. Within those 2 weeks, like it seemed like everyone was being very vocal about what was going on in Palestine.
Amazing music together with us. It's a real privilege to be here every year with my friends, the BBC Scottish Symphony Orchestra. Heart, there is great pain now, every day, for months. I come from Israel and live there.
Wow.
I love it. It's my home. But what's happening now is atrocious and horrific in a scale unimaginable. I know That many, it's okay. You can go if you don't want politics. Politics is part of life. Every day.
Yeah, you tell them. You tell them. Fuck off. Fuck off, bro.
I know that many of us feel completely hopeless in front of this. Innocent Palestinians being killed in thousands. Displaced again and again. Without hospitals.
That's right.
Without schools. Not knowing when the next meal is. Israeli hostages are kept in inhuman conditions for 2 years. For 2 years. And political prisoners are languishing in Israeli jails. Israelis, Jews and Palestinians. Israelis, Jews and Palestinians. You will let me finish and then you can curse me all your life.
Yep.
No problem. No problem. Israelis, Jews and Palestinians. We are not able to stop this alone. I ask you, I beg you, all to do whatever is in your power to stop this madness. Every little action counts while governments hesitate and wait.
Yep.
We cannot let this go on any longer. Every moment that passes puts the safety of millions at risk. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. And that guy is a conductor of the BBC Scottish Symphony. This is rich people stuff, chat. This is what rich people listen to. The fact that this guy, I didn't even know that. The fact that this guy, chat, lived in Israel. So he has connection to it, you know. He's connected to Israel. Yet he recognizes the evil that's going on in there. This was a very powerful statement, even though he had like probably someone from Israel or someone who's racist enough to believe Israel, whatever Israel says, cussing him out, trying to diminish his words, simply because he's saying that the world must stop a genocide. Like, come on. Come on. This guy showed so much bravery and passion, and we need to replicate that to a certain extent. Now you even have people from the Emmys, fucking actors. Finally, by the way, finally. We've been asking, at least Americans have been asking all of these famous people to say something. And the only people who actually said something is probably that like has a huge following was Malcolm Moore. Honestly, I think that's like the only person with a huge following that, you know, everyone recognizes was Malcolm Moore. 2 years later, we finally have actors saying stuff. So let's hear whoever this is. Hannah Einbinder on saying Free Palestine in her Emmys acceptance speech, which is this one. Okay. So this is her Emmy. She won an Emmy. I don't know who this is. I don't keep up with Emmy stuff or white people shows and stuff. Not really. I've never watched the Emmys actually, so I don't even know. But she said something about it. Let's see what she said.
Finally, I'll pay the difference. Sorry. Finally, I just want to say, finally, go Birds, and Free Palestine. Thank you.
Go Birds, fuck ICE, and Free Palestine. Did they try to mute her there?
Go Birds, and Free Palestine. Thank you.
Oh, she said fuck ICE, and they censored that, and then she said Free Palestine, so they didn't get to censor the Free Palestine part. That is awesome. Go Birds, fuck ICE, and Free Palestine. Hannah Einbinder is the 2025 Best Supporting Actress in Comedy at the Emmys? What the fuck? At the Emmys. That is her victory speech. So this is her clarifying more on that. Let's see what she says. I'm going to read what she says, and I'm sure she's going to say it again, but it says right here. It is my obligation as a Jewish person to distinguish Jews from the state of Israel. Our religion and our culture is such an important and long-standing institution that is really separate to this sort of ethno-nationalist state. Boop.
When you were up on stage, you talked about Palestine, and I know you signed a pledge too. Can you talk about that, please?
Yeah. So, well, I thought it was important to talk about Palestine because it's an issue that's very dear to my heart. I have friends in Gaza who are working as frontline workers, as doctors right now in the north of Gaza to provide care for pregnant women and for school children to create schools in the refugee camps. And it's an issue that's really close to my heart. For many reasons, I feel like it is my obligation as a Jewish person to distinguish Jews from the state of Israel because our religion and our culture is such an important and long-standing, basically like institution that is really separate to this sort of ethno-nationalist state. And in terms of the pledge, it's like many movements.
Yeah, I can't get it to be louder.
Tool to create pressure on the powers that be to meet the moment, you know. So the Film Workers for Palestine boycott does not boycott individuals. It only boycotts institutions that are directly complicit in the genocide. So yeah, it's important to me, and I think it's an important measure, and so I was happy to be a part of it.
But basically what she said is, yeah, she has friends in Gaza. She knows people who are medical workers who are trying to save people in Gaza. And yeah, she made a pledge and is also encouraging people to help Palestinian people. I think she's probably, I've never seen her before, so she might be like a rising star that we don't know of. So this is a good sign that people who have power are saying stuff, and people who are gaining fame are also saying stuff. But after her, even more actors finally are recognizing Palestine and asking people to recognize Palestine and to admit that what's going on there is a genocide. Boop. And last, this is going to be my last statement because it's already late, but this is one of the countries out here in the Western world who's standing up against Israel. France pushes Gaza stabilization force. There we go. The Times of Israel reports Paris is circulating a draft proposal for an international stabilization mission to replace Israeli forces in Gaza and gradually disarm Hamas. The plan builds on the July New York Declaration, co-sponsored by France and Saudi Arabia, which called for a two-state solution and Hamas disarmament. That's kind of weird. They need to disarm Israel. That's what I prefer. The force would be unmandated, regionally led, and funded by Gulf donors. Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Qatar are named as preferred participants. So, phase 1, ceasefire monitoring, protection of civilians. I like that. Humanitarian access. Phase 2, transferring security to the PA, rebuilding, and preparing for elections. The draft stresses dismantling Hamas as a core element while warning of risks if Gaza is separated from the West Bank. So I'm a little bit bothered by this, and this is from today, actually, September 23. or 23rd. Is that today or was it yesterday? For me, it's yesterday, I guess. I can't remember. But, yeah. At least there's going to be some military force there to protect the civilians, I hope. But really, they aren't saying much against Israel itself. They're saying more against Hamas. I don't like that. I don't like that a lot at all, because I feel like they're going to blame anything bad that happens on Hamas rather than Israel, the one who started all of this. But it is a start. Finally, we have a foreign force going to Gaza, going to Palestine to do something, and I hope it's going to be good. And we can only hope. There's a lot that I missed, and there's a lot that keeps going on. A lot happened within these past 2 to 3 weeks as well that I haven't talked about, but I think next week I'm going to focus a lot more on Charlie Kirk and the consequences of his assassination, with also having Palestine updates. I might start an hour early next week just so I can have everything that I want to say said. So, but today I wasn't feeling well. I hope I feel better by next week, but we'll see. I'll do my best, okay, y'all? Basically, though, I feel like the world is finally, very slowly, but is finally taking action, finally putting sanctions on Israel, finally doing weapon embargoes, and also planning on going to Palestine themselves and protecting civilians. I like that. So let's just hope that something even more powerful and more positive happens for the sake of the people in Palestine. And also to those that I haven't spoken of, to the other people who are suffering around the world, like Congo and other countries that I can't even think of right now. But let's continue to hope. Let's continue to boycott. Let's continue to educate ourselves and others. And let's continue to speak out for those who are suffering. So I thank all my lurkers, chatters, and viewers who decided to watch me today. I thank you guys a lot, and I do apologize for starting late, but I'll continue to do my best. Okay, y'all? That is it for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and yeah, that's the end of TamaTalks. I'll see you next week on Tuesday for TamaTalks, and then I'll do variety streaming tomorrow on Wednesday, okay? Good night, y'all. See you.
してるから今会えないよ。今だけだから今